Hi, I'm Cam, and for my presentation I've chosen to cover a video news article from CBC News' YouTube channel. It was uploaded on the 15th of the 3rd, 2019 and covers the terrorist attack that took place in Christchurch, New Zealand on the same day. In the attack, two mosques were targeted by Australian gunman Brendan Tarrant. Tarrant proceeded to livestream himself gunning down innocent Muslim civilians. The video is called New Zealand Shooting Suspect, What We Know. The presenters of this video are Heather Hiscox and John Northcott, both very well dressed to give off an air of professionalism. They take up almost the entire video. The shots of Heather show her sitting behind a desk, while the shots of John show him standing next to a large screen. Heather is there to provide some context, the who's, the what's, the where's, while John is there to give us a bit more insight, the whys and the hows. Being next to the screen allows John to show off a selection of images. He uses this as an opportunity to really try and get inside the gunman's brain, showing us things such as pictures of the weapons used from the gunman's own social media account, or quotes from the gunman's 70-plus page racist manifesto. What showing us these images does is allow the audience to visualise what John's trying to say and makes the story easier for us to follow. Both presenters are filmed using a medium shot, a shot that shows off most of the upper body. According to Weerakkody, this shot is used to indicate a personal relationship. In the instance of John and Heather, the shot allows the audience to feel like they know the presenters and that their information can be trusted. The audience can then relax themselves and feel like they're just having a chat with a friend. A medium shot is the standard filming technique used in a news article. Any other shot could be quite jarring, like so. Welcome to CBC News. Tonight, close-ups and why they're so intense! The video has amassed 4.5 million views as of September 2019, with 9,700 likes and 6,400 dislikes. On the week the video was uploaded, the traffic on CBC News' YouTube channel looked like this. Friday, the day of, had the highest increase of viewership with 31.2%, followed by the Saturday on 23.4%. Similarly, the average views for the channel peaked at 5.9 million on the 15th, 1.6 million on the 16th, and dropped significantly back down to 119,000 by the 17th. I think that the significant drop in traffic comes down to the proximity of the event. With CBC being a Canadian news source, most of the interest from their usual fan base would have diminished quite quickly. The impact of the event was not as significant to Canadians as it was to New Zealanders. Had it happened closer to home for the Canadians, perhaps their interest would have stayed. This video is interesting because it's a Canadian team on an event that took place in New Zealand about an Australian man who attacked a mosque, being reviewed by a Scotsman. Anyway, this gives the video a very broad demographic and could have contributed to the popularity of the video. For the most part, both presenters are very articulate, never speaking too fast or allowing for any awkward pauses. Heather in particular has a very strong voice. She comes across as very knowledgeable, but also very empathetic without seeming too emotional. John also does a good job of displaying empathy, but begins to struggle when he has to present trivia around the names of the people in the rifle, making it seem as though he's not confident in what he's talking about. At one point, John tries to explain that one of the gunman's influences was American right-wing commentator Candace Owens, and that he mentions her in his 70-page manifesto. He then tries to explain that Candace responded to her name being used with a very sarcastic tweet, shrugging off the blame effectively. However, John, stumbling and sweating his way through this, neglects to mention her name, who she is, why the gunman was interested in her, and how she's in any way relevant to the story at all. I think this is one of the reasons why the video has such a high number of dislikes. It seems as though CBC is looking to create their own drama instead of focusing on the event itself. The news team frequently use phrases such as murderous attack and terrorist. Words like these are used to paint the gunman as cowardly and as a murderer. As Ryan Holiday puts it in Tactics 3 and 4, anger is viral, sadness isn't. CBC wants its audience to hate Brendan Tarrant. This video doesn't show any gratuitous footage of the murder scene. In fact, the victims are hardly mentioned at all. This video is about the shooter. CBC News has decided to cover the aspects of the story that its audience is going to find the most engaging. As Jonah Peretti states, if something's a total bummer, people aren't going to share it. This instance of framing was obviously effective as it caused a massive increase in views for the channel. An interesting note about this video is that in the first minute, Heather states that New Zealand police weren't willing to name the suspect for legal reasons. Heather then almost immediately proceeds to name the suspect. Not only that, but they use a screenshot of his face as the thumbnail for the video. This was obviously done to generate traffic. If New Zealand police and media weren't willing to use personal information about the suspect, then CBC News was going to take full advantage of this. To conclude, while this video didn't cover all the relevant information of the Christchurch shooting, it did do what CBC News wanted it to do, and that's get big numbers. Thanks for watching.